Now, if you were listening to Linda and she talked about having a hand in front of your face, if any of us have not had a hand in front of our face, you've been noticing things going on in the world the last few months. You've got the Occupy groups all across Canada and in the US. You've got riots happening in countries in Europe. We're really into a social change. This really is a revolution, and I think this is just the start. But there are other things going on. There's another revolution. And that one is how we communicate. And I think this is a huge opportunity for speakers. I've been waiting for this for about 15 years. I've seen the tide changing, and now it's here. This is a revolution in communication, putting the most powerful tool that we have ever developed for communicating, video, the camera, in your hands, inexpensively. I mean, it's fascinating, and it lets you communicate around the world. So don't miss this. I want some people today to commit to getting started with this medium. All right, so where am I going to take you today? The revolution, I want to talk a little bit about that. I'm going to show you how to vlog, and when I say the word vlog, I'm talking about putting any kind of video online. I really believe you should think about video as an asset. Something that you can, if you do it well, you can use over and over and over again. And it really will give you a worldwide audience. So I'm going to show you some of the things that I'm doing to give you an idea as to how far you can go, and I'm just beginning. Performance, we tend to think of video as technical. Where can I get a camera? What camera should I have? Who can I hire to shoot me? The biggest thing... Yeah, Kit's just put up his hand over there to shoot me. Performance is the big thing because you can have crappy equipment. You have to have reasonably good lighting to be seen, but performance is everything. And that's what I do as a director. So a lot of this is going to be from my perspective today, and I'm actually going to show you how you can get better on camera and how important it is to treat being on camera a little differently than being up here. Size is important. When you're on camera, you want to get small. So the gestures are gone from your on camera. The bigness of being on stage, it's an opposite way of thinking. So at the end of this, I'm going to talk to you about the power of testimonials, which is, I thought, from when I first got involved in television, the most powerful tool that we can have. It's word of mouth. So at the end of most of my performances, I ask the audience to give me a testimonial. I do that individual people. And they're hugely powerful. I have a number of them on my site. I'm going to tell you a little bit about that and show you one. But let's go back a few years. A few years. 1439, and I know some of you are thinking, was this my first printer? No, we're all 35 here, right? I had to get this picture from Kit. So that was the first printer that was ever developed and allowed us to communicate what we knew, our knowledge, to other people worldwide. Huge revolution. Then we go forward to desktop publishing. I had one of these little machines down here. $10,000, one of the first printers. Do you remember it? It was like a boat anchor. You had to have 5 guys pull it into your office. If you wanted to move, the same 5 had to take it back out. It was really heavy. But it changed everything and put printing into our hands. And now, today, we think nothing of knocking off a little e-book or a brochure, and we can do it ourselves. Let's go to 1875, Alexander Graham Bell. Can you imagine what it would have been like without the telephone? How could you talk? We don't think anything. I saw somebody going across the street yesterday, not watching where the traffic was or anything else, on the telephone. I mean, it was the most amazing thing, and that's where we've gone. Think about this one. How many had one of those? 2.5 pounds. Remember when you went into a bar and people used to frown at you pulling out your cell phone? Well, that's how much things have changed. Television, 1939. One of the first is a little bit of a discussion or an argument about who had the first television set. In 1958, I remember, and I'm really dating myself now, having this little black and white red box that we got, which was, it was a black and white TV, back in 1958, and we used to watch Ed Sullivan. The whole family would gather around the tube. So that was a little bit obviously after this. This was my first television camera, 1973-74. I went to Ryerson in Toronto, and this was the main studio. We had just got another studio with a color camera that came into use in 72 after I had got there. This camera is so big, you basically dance around the studio with it. And the cameras today still have to be on that pedestal because you still have to move them around the studio. But the cameras have changed. This is a camera, and it's HD quality. I'm going to talk a little bit more about this because you can throw this, what I love about it, throw it in your pocket, carry it around with you, and you've got this camera in your pocket. In fact, you've got more than that because it's HD and it's color, and it actually will let you put a microphone into it. Really, really important. I'm going to talk more about that as we go on. So that was 1971, and this was rackable lenses. So you had 4 lenses and a great big rack at the back, so you actually had to rack from a close-up to a wide shot. There were no zoom lenses. Not that long ago, things are really moving. And there's the ZI-8 is what I call it, which is the one I recommend if you want to get started with video and you want something that you can take on the road with you. They've actually stopped production of this camera, but you can still get them. Actually, they stopped production and the price went up pretty well through the roof. So I got mine for $170, and now they're $250 to $300, but you can get them refurbished, and I get them through Amazon is the best place to go for that. 1971, the internet. Here's the first email. Look at what it took to send that. And now, of course, we've got computers and the iPhone, and we're sending emails. We think nothing of it. That's how much that's changed. And now YouTube. 2005, can you believe it? YouTube began in 2005. And here we are today. And the neat thing is that anybody can put together a video and get an audience. Okay? I'm going to talk a little bit about the opportunity as we go forward, but I'm going to let this guy here tell you about some of the facts and figures around the use of YouTube. This week I ran across some facts and figures about online video that I thought I should share with you. Here's why video is so important. Half of all U.S. consumers, that's 50.5%, watch video online. They're spending 45% more time doing it than even a year ago. That's over 4.5 hours of online video every month. People in the 18 to 34 age group spend more time watching online video than they do watching TV, almost 50% more. Now, here's a chart showing watching habits by age group. The top 2 age groups are 18 to 34. But look, 35 to 44 are close behind. So if this is your target market, you absolutely have to be on video and online. We had world-renowned speaker Peter Legge in town this past weekend. He recently got hired to speak in front of a major multinational energy company. Now, when he asked them why they chose him, they told him it was his YouTube video. And they also told him that if you don't have a YouTube video, they won't even consider you. Wow. On YouTube alone, users around the world are watching 3 billion videos a day and uploading more than 48 hours of video per minute. That's a lot of video. Video currently makes up 40% of all internet traffic and will exceed 91% by 2014. Now that's according to forecasts from Cisco. So you have to be there. This is a revolution. We think of YouTube as going to watch the latest, funniest video, but you're going to find that advertisers are starting to make money from YouTube, being online. So let's look at these facts. 3 billion plus viewers a day in YouTube. I mean, that's absolutely huge. We never would have thought that 10 years ago, even 5 years ago, and it's growing. YouTubers watch 60 videos per month. Think about that. And these facts go on. 48 hours of video uploaded every minute. And these are US numbers, but Canada is just as big in terms of the use of video. This is the interesting one. 94% of advertisers report success using video online. So it is a tool that you can use to sell. And there is nothing as powerful as this medium because it's you. It's you selling 24 hours a day worldwide. For free, mind you. You know, you're not getting paid for it, but can you imagine? You could not think of doing that yourself. years ago, it would have cost you a tremendous amount of money. I know some of you were using it quite a bit. They're expecting 38% ad growth in 2011. Now, I want to give you an idea of what I am doing because I'm very much into this video game. I put together 52 videos, which I'm putting together as a package. And what I'm going to do, although you can see these on YouTube and you can go and search for them, nobody can get the whole package unless they purchase it from me. And so what I'm doing is I'm saying my audience is executives. I'm saying to executives, you pay me, if you give me 10 of you, $97 a year, one payment. I'll get one of these with an article to your inbox every week for a year. Now, I've already sold 10 of these without people even seeing them because the idea is so radical, and I think that the quality is pretty good. Let me show you, and then I'll tell you what some of the numbers are that I'm getting on YouTube.
If you want to be persuasive, benefits have to be at the core of your presentation. The tastier, the better. Well, let me explain. If you're like me, you learned earlier on that features are what a product has. Benefits are what it does. But sometimes what you think are benefits aren't. They're often not personal enough. They're not compelling. To really sell, your benefits have to be specific. They have to give your audience a specific gain, one that they can personally feel or imagine. Benefits have to personally and emotionally affect your audience. Let's consider another word, advantages. I'm going to suggest to you that what we've traditionally thought of as benefits are really advantages. Products and services have features, and features have advantages. But benefits, they're different. For example, let's say I wanted to sell you a double chocolate cake. I might say that it has double rich, naturally sweet icing. Now, that's a feature. The advantage is that it's not too rich or overly sweet like traditional chocolate, and that makes it taste so much better. But so what? It doesn't really make me want to taste it. But if I were to tell you that it tastes so good, it will make your toes curl. Think about that for a minute. It will make your toes curl. Now, that's a benefit. That affects you emotionally. That sells. I really want to experience that. Benefits are how products or services affect your audience on a personal level. Benefits have to affect them emotionally, and that has impact. That sells. Put real benefits at the core of your next persuasive presentation, and you'll have all the success you've ever wanted.
So that's a little 2-minute video, probably 15 takes worth, because I don't get on camera and do that the first time through. So what I'm saying that this is probably the higher end, but you can start by getting used to video and putting yourself on camera. It's like playing the piano. It takes a while to get good at it, but if you don't start today and start to learn, it'll never happen. And that's how big this opportunity is. So, yes?
When you were doing that, were you using a teleprompter?
Yes, I was using a prompter. And that takes a bit of getting used to. And the poor man's prompter, which I'm going to show you, well, I'm not going to show you, but the poor man's prompter is to take a camera like this, and we used to do this in the old days. You can put a little sticky if you want to, if you're close to it, and put your notes on that sticky. And then as long as you look at that sticky and don't look in the lens, because as soon as you look from that over to the lens, it gives it away. You have to look at that, keep it close to the lens, and then people will think that you're actually looking in the lens. In the old days, we used to have a script assistant stand beside the camera over here with a roll of paper rolling the script up, and so that the words that you were saying were eyeline. And that's how we did it. That was the old days. You can still do that today. You don't need an expensive prompter. So let's go ahead here to YouTube. So building assets, I think, is the name of the game. Assets that are done well that you can use again and again, and you can sell. We all have knowledge, but don't give everything away, just a tip. Okay, so it's easy, kinda. It takes a while to learn. Okay, what am I getting on YouTube? I have 3 channels. 2 of them have the videos that you just saw. Here's one of the channels. This has got 40 videos on it. I'm getting on a monthly basis, if I go into, this is called analytics in your YouTube channel. You can get a ton of information. I'm getting 979 per month views. But if I go to my other channel, which has got 7 videos, my original 7, they've been there about a year, it's now getting, I'm getting 44,000 views a year now. And that's really only happened in the last month and a half to 2 months. So it takes a little while to get there. Now, I haven't monetized that yet. The first thing is to get the audience. Well, a lot of you already have an audience because you have email addresses and those sorts of things. I started from scratch. But this shows you, and you get countries all over the world. You also get in here an idea of what your demographics are. I'm looking for an executive audience. Well, that's what I'm getting, because this is, you can't really read this, but 45 to 54 in here. And it shows you the different countries. So you can track your progress and how you're doing with YouTube. Huge. Okay, so video benefits, assets, video is forever. I've always said that. It's like writing a book. Put the time into it in your script that you would put into a book. Because again, you can use it again and again. Trust. There is nothing that builds trust like video, because it's you on camera. People can see you. They get a feel for you, who you are. You're either believable or you're not, so it's a huge credibility builder. You, your best salesperson 24/7 worldwide, I've already said that. And YouTube now, in the last little while, has allowed you to monetize. So they have something called AdSense on the right-hand side, and they put a little ad there. And if you have got content that is all your own, they allow you to monetize, which means that every time somebody clicks in your YouTube site, you get a few cents. And over time, with 44,000, I haven't looked at what I'm getting, but over time, you will start to get more ad revenue from that. So that's the beginning. So this all sort of takes time getting there. And then going viral. Anybody heard Charlie Bit My Finger? Ever watched that? It's got something like 33 million views, and it's this little minute-and-a-half piece of a kid on camera. So if you're lucky enough, you can get something that actually goes viral. You can do things like landing pages. I'm going to run ahead through some of these videos and not show them, but one of the things you can do is an on-camera landing page. Events. Here's the CAPS event.
This November, CAPS will take you on
Most of you have seen that, so I'm not going to bore you with going through it. I'm going to rifle through a few of these. A book launch. Now, this was Stephanie Stables in Winnipeg, who I worked with to put together a book launch. And the thing about a book launch or any sales on video is you want to start with the problem. You know how when you do this, you have a problem, whatever it is? Well, the solution is video or whatever you're selling, my book, and then why. So it's always problem, solution, and why. Very simple. And that's how you put together a little 2-minute message. And they should be 2 minutes or less. Here's Stephanie.
Do you have room for improvement in your life? Do you find yourself looking for more time, more energy, more motivation to do the things you know would make your life better? If so, you're not alone. And now there's a simple and enjoyable answer to your dilemma. Hi there, my name is Stephanie Staples, and I'm the author of When Enlightening Strikes, Creating a Mindset for Uncommon Success. When Enlightening Strikes is a captivating book about life, about love, and about letting go. It might make you cry, it'll definitely make you laugh, but most importantly, it's going to give you inspiration and ideas to create a life and livelihood you can get excited about right now. So, stop waiting for a better time. Right now is the best time to harness your power. When Enlightening Strikes will help you create a mindset for uncommon success. Check it out.
Yay, Stephanie, but she used that same principle or structure within this little minute and a half. Okay, and it comes across well. What's the problem with this one, though? Looking down, yeah, there's another problem with it. It's the microphone. She's using the camera mic, so it gives her a very thin voice. You want to have a camera that allows you to have an external mic. And we'll go ahead and I'll show you that. Demonstrations, it's great for as well. Another thing you can use video for. Your LinkedIn profile. If you don't have a video on your LinkedIn profile, there's mine in the bottom. You can put it right under your little bio thing here, and you can have that minutes long that tells people who you are and introduces yourself. Very powerful. Okay, so tools of the trade. Here's my ZI-8 that I think is still one of the best cameras you can get out there. And here is the microphone that I suggest you use. It's a wired microphone. Costs you about, you can actually get it for about $25 to $30. It's got a huge long cable and works with this microphone. It'll give you really, or this camera will give you really good sound. Okay, so those are the tools that I would use to start with. It's got a really sexy name to it. The ATR 3350. Just Google that in Amazon. Some of the places don't ship to Canada, but you'll be able to find a third party that does ship to Canada. And you can get one here. You can pick it up at Vistec here in town. They have one in all major cities in Canada for $60, but they're a little overpriced. I would go with Amazon. It's the same product. So I need a web star, somebody that's going to come up and go through a little on-camera directing, and then we're going to see how we get that to YouTube and onto your site really quickly.